This is Unit 7, Lesson 5, Reflections. We're going to start off talking in general about transformations. A transformation is an operation that maps an original figure, geometric figure, onto a new figure called the image. The figure that we start with is called the original figure, but it's also called the pre-image. And the one that is created after the transformation is called the image. We refer to the process of transforming a figure to an image in the coordinate plane as a mapping. That is, we map an original figure by a transformation rule to its image. There are 4 common transformations that we're going to learn about, and here is an image, a picture, that shows those 4 transformations. There's one's called a translation, one is called reflection, one is a rotation, and one is a dilation. Here's another picture that shows them in a different way. We're going to be learning about all 4, but today's lesson is going to focus on reflections. Okay, a reflection is when you flip a figure over a line. It's kind of a non-mathy way to say it. The line is called the line of symmetry or the line of reflection. Here's a picture that shows a horizontal reflection and a picture that shows a vertical reflection. Okay, in this course, we're going to focus on reflections in the coordinate plane that are reflections across the x-axis or across the y-axis. That is, the x-axis or the y-axis is going to be the line of symmetry. Here's a visual that shows a reflection across the y-axis. And here's a visual that shows a reflection across the x-axis. The pre-image is often described by the points of its vertices, and the image is described with those same points along with an apostrophe. For example, you can see here the pre-image triangle ABC, and the image is notated this way, and it's red triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. Example 1 shows the reflection of triangle ABC across the y-axis. It's mapped to triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. You can see the notation that we use to show the pre-image point, labeled point A or B or C, and then the image point, labeled A prime, B prime, and C prime. Indicated, the mapping is indicated with the arrow leading from the pre-image to the image point. Here's another example. This is a reflection across the x-axis, showing the pre-image points mapped to the image points. Here's another example. This is a reflection across the x-axis. If you were to be given the pre-image and you needed to draw the image, the easiest way to do it is to focus on what the actual coordinate point is, and then move the distance from that point to the x-axis. Move the same distance on the other side of the axis to draw the new point. So here you can see point C is a certain distance from the x-axis, and that same distance on the other side will be our point C prime. Here you can see example 4 is a reflection across the y-axis, and example 5 is a reflection across the x-axis, but you can see that the original image had points that were both above and below the x-axis. So you can see here the point X is below the x-axis, and its mapped image X prime is now above the x-axis. The original image Z is above the x-axis, so the mapped image Z prime is going to be below the x-axis. So that's a little confusing visually to draw, but if you just focus on each vertex and finding its spot across the line of reflection, then you can go ahead and connect the points once you've drawn all the mapped vertices.